Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei Extras, and today the blockwars Reddit has been active yet again because there is a roster of blockwars with like video game and like movie characters, media characters is how they refer to it, and I'm gonna review these teams and give my thoughts. Okay, just a heads up, I don't know all these characters and I will make sure to point out which ones I don't know, but let's look at these and see what an interesting thing, what an interesting post we're looking at here. First off is Scarlet Sharks, which is Teardrop, Phoenix Wright, Doomslayer, Tanjiro Kamado, and Rob. I don't know Teardrop. The other four I am familiar with. Phoenix Wright is from whatever the series is called, where the Justice one, where objection. That's that guy, I think. Doomslayer is obviously the guy from Doom. Tanjiro Kamado, I did a bit of research. I knew it was obviously an anime character. Pretty sure what I looked at was a Demon Slayer. I haven't watched most animes, if any, really, so I don't really know too much about him, but sure. And then Rob from Smash. I know Rob is actually from a different genre within Nintendo, but Rob from Smash. Everyone knows him from Smash. Very nice team. Next up, Pizza Steve, Harley Quinn, Deadpool, Homelander, and Monokuma. I don't know who Pizza Steve is. This could be a random ass like MCC Island player, and I would believe you. Harley Quinn, Deadpool, and Homelander is kind of a crazy trio. That is nuts. That is wild. That is insane. Monokuma, I recognize, like, in terms of the design. I'd have no clue where they're from or like what they do, but looks scary. That's for sure. Next up, Golden Gorillas. You got King K. Rool, Ammonite, Lonk, Loki, and Scout. This is the first team where I actually know every single character. King K. Rool, obviously from Donkey Kong, and also in Smash. Ammonite being, you know, Team Helix for the Pokemon fans, the Team Helix fossil. Lonk is the best rendition of Link, I assumed. I don't know, man. Lonk is very silly. Loki obviously is a villain from I can't remember what series, but he's a villain. Thor, something like that. And then Scout from TF2. Looking, you know, he's got the he's currently Mogin. I don't know, close enough. Mewing, I don't know, one of those two. Interesting team though. I don't know how well this dynamic would work. These are all characters from very different areas. I guess there could be some chemistry between like K. Rool and Lonk, maybe because of like Smash. Ammonite definitely here for like the team morale, but I don't know how well that'll completely work out, because I feel like this is a pretty aggressive team. K. Rool and Scout feel like they're gonna be pushing the entire time. Lonk's gonna like try, but he'll probably like flop a little bit during the event in like PvP games. He might miss a couple of hits. Loki, I don't know. Loki doesn't seem super interested in trying from what I can tell from the profile picture, but maybe he's gonna be the team mastermind. So Ammonite's just there for good vibes, really. Obviously. All right, moving on. Limelight. So you got Kirby, Wally, Buzz Lightyear, Hat Kid, and Steven Universe. This is a very interesting team. I'd say that this is probably pretty balanced. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Hat Kid, but Kirby is like probably the most underrated player in the league, if we're speaking realistically. Like, Kirby's got so many powers under his belt, and I feel like people often overlook that. Wally, unfortunately, is a little bit of an anchor, but that's fine. Wally's there for the vibes. You know, the people love him. He's a fan favorite, but not a very strong player. Buzz Lightyear is a bit of a show-off, but he's got some good mechanics. Definitely like a lower-end S tier, I would say, but probably second fragging behind Kirby. And then, yeah, I don't know much about Hat Kid. I mean, they seem relatively neutral, so maybe like a mid-tier. Steven Universe, though, also some hidden potential in that, but he has not yet really capitalized on it in Block Wars. We'll see if we'll do better going forward. Anyways, moving on. Teal Turtles. Oh, interesting. We got Hello Kitty, Retsuko, Isabelle, Hatsune Miku, and Frisk. I don't know who Retsuko is, but Hello Kitty, Isabelle, Hatsune Miku, and Frisk very much seems like a vibes team, but this is definitely not one to underestimate. I mean, I think this is more of a team games team. I don't know how well their chemistry is going to work, but they're all on an individual basis seem like people who are kind of on the same wavelength. I just don't know if they've talked to each other before, so probably not, but looking like a pretty interesting team for sure. I mean, Hatsune Miku obviously being the star player of this team in terms of popularity. I mean, the crowd is going to go nuts when this announcement goes out. But I mean, Hello Kitty been consistent in the game for a while. Obviously, you know, varies in skill levels, but isn't super standoutish in any of the games specifically, or like any genre of game. Isabelle, obviously, you know, construction like is a game that Isabelle's a little bit better at, and like Order Up, Isabelle is one of the higher end players, but you know, like PvP and movement, not bad, but nothing too special. Hatsune Miku, I mean, in terms of actual skill, very much like you know, a blitz hunt and a party enjoyer. Definitely the two favorite games I think for her there, or for them. Sorry, but I don't know. For the rest, nothing too standoutish. But I think this team's value really comes in its consistency across the board. There's no game that will be like terrible for them, but there's no game that is like fantastic. Besides maybe like an Order Up. So maybe they'll do pretty good. Next up, you got the player, Puss in Boots, Mysterion, Cappy, and Perry the Platypus. Probably the least familiar team for me right now. Is the player from that one game that used to be in all the commentary videos where people would like shoot the little gun, or how does that work? I don't know. It's like the one where you laser like some enemies and they like burst into little fragments. I don't know where the player is from. So I don't know. Puss in Boots is an interesting one though. Puss in Boots very much is you know, all talk no action type of character. I mean, it's not as if Puss in Boots is bad, but like definitely you know, got a big ego, but not too much to show for it. I mean, PvP is very good, and I guess PvP game differential is very significant, but that's kind of where the bulk of the points come from for Puss in Boots. It's unfortunately not looking too hot for them elsewhere. But the player, I'm not too familiar with. Mysterion, I mean, I recognize, but not too familiar with either. I think Mysterion is probably like a high mid player, if I had to guess. Cappy, I don't know pretty much at all. Never seen that character before. So could be a mystery player, maybe like a 30th, maybe a 10th. Maybe Cappy is like busted, who knows. Perry, though, let's not underestimate Perry. Look, man. Look, Perry's been in this game for ages. You know, this is definitely not one to underestimate here. And I mean, Perry's just gonna put up an absolute star player performance, absolutely fire performance. Definitely gonna be a crowd favorite in the league, akin to like maybe not to the extent of like a Feinberg, but definitely like a Fruitberries level, like fantastic performance. Definitely something to look out for. Next up is this team doesn't seem very balanced, just a little strong. Mario, Emmett, Garfield, Star-Lord, and Crazy Dave. Look, we've got kind of probably the strongest duo we're dealing with so far. Mario and Emmett is nuts. That is crazy. I mean, I guess if we're looking back to like Orange or Yellow, whatever it was Orange, Harley, Deadpool, and Homelander is kind of disgusting as well. It's an absolutely crazy team, but like, it's mostly, you know, looking at Harley and Deadpool being the two star players and Homelander being a very consistent third. But I'm not going to lie. Mario and Emma duo that's an S tier duo for sure. That is fantastic. I mean, what do you even say about that? They're just good all across the board. Movement, they've got it. PvP, they've got it. Team games, they can have, there's room for improvement there, but they're still at least average. So that's just a very, very good performance all around. Party games, also fantastic performance. Obviously, the mechanics on these two guys is insane. Garfield is a little bit of a interesting, you know, teammate to work with. Very strong, but doesn't seem to care too much. More of a for fun, for the vibes, and you know, not really look at the screen the entire time type of character, type of player rather. But you know, still not. I mean, not anything to, you know. You can't look at Garfield on the playfield and be like, huh, that's an easy win. Like, definitely not. Star-Lord is, you know, I don't know how he snuck into this team. I mean, Star-Lord's like around like a 15th place player. Ranges between like high or low end top 10 and definitely like always like a top half contender, maybe like one or two fluke performances in a stronger roster, but still insane. And then Crazy Dave, I mean, typically Crazy Dave has, you know, other people working for him in his own, you know, in his own league, but within Blockwars, he's still put up a pretty good performance. Definitely the bottom frag of this team, but Still a bottom frag, probably around like 30th to 35th at the lowest. I mean, I don't really see Crazy Dave getting bottom 5. That doesn't really make sense. But I mean, hey, very impressive team. Feels a little bit broken, slightly broken, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see what pink is. Okay, this is a very strong team too. Typically, the pink teams are a little bit more on the content for fun side. This feels like a very interesting mix. The only thing that's holding this team back, I think, a little bit is chemistry. I don't think there's much chemistry going on besides LeBron and Baller, of course, but I don't think the rest of the team works super well together. But let's look at these players individually. LeBron's an interesting one. Definitely a questionable pick in this league because, you know, in terms of all these characters, a lot of them come from the fictional world, and LeBron is kind of like a hybrid, if we're speaking realistically, which is definitely interesting. But I mean, LeBron's good, but nothing too crazy. Definitely more of a popular pick than a very like standoutish player. But definitely, I mean, on this team, probably gonna be maybe like tied third frag. If I had to guess, it might be pretty well rounded here. But this team has 0 weak players, which is insane. Like I don't understand how that slipped past. Just so everyone knows, I obviously had no involvement with this season's balancing. I was not available for this one. I'm not sure who let this one go through, but LeBron, like a 15th to 20th player, definitely looks more intimidating than his actual performances are. He's also obviously got a whole career that he's focusing on, so this is more of a hobby for him to play on blockwars than something that he puts his all into. Then you got Wolfeei. Now Wolfeei is an interesting pick as well here. Definitely, I mean, in terms of like, you know, in terms of non-blockwars businesses, I mean, LeBron and Wolfeei seem like they would pair pretty well together. Obviously, LeBron's got the range in his basketball, you know, avenue, but Wolfei's got range, like literally. I mean, his arms stretch like crazy. So I mean, definitely a good character, but unfortunately, like the arm stretch stuff, whatever powers he holds, not really too useful across the event. I mean, like movement games, that's just not allowed. You're gonna get disqualified if you use that. PvP games, like we can maybe slip it by if it's like not too long range, but typically can't really use that either. And then past that, I mean, the application of those powers is almost useless. Like I don't know, it doesn't feel like a great pick, but Wolfeei still holds up. I mean, movement wise, he still does pretty well. Again, I mean, around 15th to 20th range player, but we've seen it in the past with other events. I mean, an all-rounder team can kind of be a massive make or break moment. Like it could be a team that just sweeps. Next up, we got Kool-Aid. Now, look, man, Kool-Aid's also definitely one of the fan favorites. This roster is kind of stacked, but there's definitely some fellas missing in this league. I think like a Pikachu. I feel like Pikachu would have been a shoe-in. I'm not sure where Pikachu is at in this roster. Even a Kirby could have made. Oh right, Kirby is in actually. Sorry, I completely forgot that Kirby made an appearance. Why is it selected? Hello. Anyways, yeah, Kirby's online. Sorry, complete oversight on my end, but Pikachu, no Pikachu. Kind of crazy. It's kind of, I feel like that's the like number one, really. That's like the Joe Bart of this league. Where's Pikachu? Either way, Kool-Aid, I think. Sorry to take away Kool-Aid's his moment, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Kool-Aid, very good all around. Definitely more of a glass cannon in terms of performances. Very much someone who will go in hard, obviously willing to take the lead in charging into anything, really, any teams in any game. But it doesn't always work out super well. Kind of a lack of communication on his part. He's more of a I got this type of guy. Like, I don't know. Typically, like he can frag out. He can frag out super hard, but he also has his rounds where he gets 0 kills and dies immediately in like a battle. And it's very inconsistent. I mean, with this team, I think he has a good line of characters to back him up. I think he should be able to just play recklessly like he typically does. But I don't know. I mean, depending on what games are in this roster, I think Kool-Aid would be like maybe like a slightly above 15th. Definitely looking like he would be currently above LeBron and Luffy. I think definitely would be like maybe like a 13th or 12th. This team could pull up a performance similar to Team SWMG, Shadow Wizard Money Gang from Origins. Definitely could be. I mean, probably a little bit better because I think Baller bottom fragging is kind of crazy here. But moving on. So, Classic Sonic, I think is going to be the top frag. It's definitely debatable between him and Kool-Aid, but Sonic, I mean, he's got movement on lock. I mean, it's just unfair. The micro movement is crazy. Doesn't even care about what map it is. He's got the instincts of an absolute beast. Okay, absolute beast in the movement games. And I mean, parkour, like definitely ranks very high. Maybe the best. It's debatable. Race is definitely on lock for him. Definitely on lock. I mean, I guess in blockwars you got like Trailblazers, but like half of those he's gonna sweep. I mean, time trials he's got on lock. I mean, parkour he'll do decent in. Dropper, he's got those quick movements in the air. He's got that covered as well. And then like Elytra, not his strongest, but I mean in Trailblazers there is the freedom of choice. Obviously, he doesn't need to touch Elytra ever. If he takes the other 4 or 5 movement games, movement types, on he'll be chilling. He'll be chilling. Yeah, Sonic definitely going to be a top 10 contender. Not sure how high in the top 10. I mean, there is some star power in this league, but definitely up there for sure. And then Baller, obviously, sorry for the wait to talk about Baller. I know it is obviously a pretty fan favorite. I mean, not sure where Baller came from, but he's been in the event for a couple of events now, and started off a little bit slow, but he's been picking up the pace like an absolute madman. Currently, definitely like a lower end top half. Definitely like a like a 20th, maybe a little bit lower. It's been a little bit inconsistent. Maybe like I would say like 20th or maybe slightly below, but very much gonna predict it like within a range of 5 placements to be around 20th. Yeah, I mean, Baller and LeBron, good chemistry. They don't talk too much, but like they had that first like friendship at first sight, you could say, and it's just insane. I don't understand how this team slipped by. It's kind of crazy. Blockwars needs to do a little bit better with their team balancing, as is very apparent here. But I mean, either way, pretty good roster we got here. Can't wait for this to be revealed to everybody. I mean, predictions wise, I don't really have much to say. I mean, I think top 2 is really all that matters. But we're looking at like game dependency here. Definitely think that unfortunately the Lime and the Aqua team are gonna have to rank a little bit lower this time around. I just don't think they have it in them to do super well. Even Yellow, unless it's super PvP heavy, like Yellow is not looking too hot either. But like Red, Orange, and like Blue, those seem to be probably the middle tier teams. I think Purple and Pink take it. Purple and Pink are nuts. Crazy teams. I mean, maybe I'm overestimating the Mario and Emmett duo in context compared to some of these. Maybe Orange would compete. Because, I mean, Harley and Deadpool is crazy. And I mean, I'm not familiar with Pizza Steve's game or Monokuma. Homelander, I mean, still a high-end mid player, I would say. So, I don't know. I think it would be an interesting watch. I mean, if you're a fan of any of the people on, like, Lime or Aqua, I hope you're there for just some good vibes. I think Lime might be a little bit down the dumps mentally at this event. I think they're not going to have the greatest experience. Teal, though, I mean, they don't really care. Teal's just regardless of skill, for fun team. They'll have a good time. And if they win, they'll have a fun time. If they get last, they have a fun time. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, let me know which team you're the most excited for. Obviously, now I'm gonna stop pretending like this is real. Interesting, combination of characters. I think there definitely are some characters I would put in, but obviously this is fan made, and obviously it doesn't really matter. But pretty cool. Some of the combos feel a little random, but I guess it is just a silly little thing. Some of these combos are very good though. A Harley and Deadpool and Homelander, trio just in concept sounds like it would work, and it sounds crazy. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you had fun listening to me goof around on this video, and keep the silly posts coming. Keep the silly posts coming. Although this is pre-recorded, so By the time this video is up, I probably won't be able to see anything until like a week from now, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you later. Goodbye.